Welcome to the Busy Signal. My name is Jim, and this is my retrostalgic 80s, 90s, and early 2000s podcast. This show aims to salute all the stuff from back in the day that is now extinct or quickly going that way. The Busy Signal, episode 58. Merry Christmas, and thanks for listening. 182 years ago, Charles Dickens published A Christmas Carol. The published date was December 19th, 1843. So if you're listening to this episode the day it drops, this is the 182nd anniversary of one of the most beloved Christmas stories of all time. The first edition of A Christmas Carol was a hardcover with a gold embossing on the cover and detailed illustrations done by John Leech. It was an instant success and sold out by Christmas Eve that year, 6,000 copies in that first run. 182 years later, there have been over 100 film adaptations made, and while I haven't seen anywhere near all of them, I've managed to see a handful over my 40 plus years, and let me tell you, some of them are better than others, and that's where we find ourselves right now. Marley was dead to begin with. It's Christmas Eve in London, and somewhere between the snowflakes and the singing rats, the Muppets are giving Dickens a felt-covered twist. It's the Muppet Christmas Carol, and I'm bringing back friend of the show and board game connoisseur George as we dive into the 1992 classic that made Dickens sing. So grab your hot cocoa and your favorite Muppet because we're rewinding the early 90s holiday magic right here on the Busy Signal. George, Merry Christmas.
It feels like Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jim.
Merry Christmas. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. And I got to think, Charles Dickens is looking down at us on this anniversary of the Christmas Carol. And this has got to be exactly what he imagined, right, Jim? Two guys talking on the interweb about a puppet-based version of this classic book.
He was the greediest man who ever lived.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Until tonight, he met someone extraordinary.
Hello.
Walt Disney Pictures presents, from Jim Henson Productions, the family movie event of the year.
Like the lamb, not the rat.
Join Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge. It's the Muppet Christmas Carol.
It's creepy and kind of...
Rated G. Starts Friday, December 11th at a theater near you.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he envisioned. He's not rolling in his grave at all right now.
No, not at all. This is exactly the joy and hope that he wanted to bring to mankind.
This episode is destined to be better than at least one of the film adaptations going all the way back to like 1910. Has to be.
Yeah, no doubt. It's interesting. I'm not much of a reader. I could probably list for you the books that I've read from cover to cover in my lifetime.
Okay.
But Christmas Carol is one of them. I grew up watching Christmas Carol. Mm-hmm. I grew up watching this movie in particular. I think it was probably like a decade ago. I was like, you know what? I want to read A Christmas Carol. And I sat down and I read it from cover to cover and I loved it. I really did.
It is good. I remember reading it in grade school, but I actually got that itch again probably about 2 years ago in December. And I picked up an audio version of it and it is fantastic. It really is a complete story front to back. And it's so well thought out. It's so well put together. It's haunting. You know, you get those old standard Christmas songs that you hear on the radios now. It's, scary ghost stories. And, that's Dickens right there.
Yeah.
To a T.
Well, and think about it. It works on a couple of levels. Like when you're a kid and it's a story about ghosts and stuff like that, you're on board with it. And as an adult, you read it and there's some real depth and even Scrooge. Like over the years, I've probably gotten closer to Scrooge.
Oh my gosh, haven't we all?
And man, it's not hard in this life to get a little hard-hearted and a little sour towards mankind. So I feel Scrooge a lot more as an adult than I ever did as a kid.
It really is easy to become that Scrooge. So we are going to dig in. First, I have a couple stats for this movie. I know that we did this last year when we covered Ernest Saves Christmas. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter is on The Muppet Christmas Carol?
It's always worse than I think it is. I would say 75.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 78. And then they have a popcorn meter, which is like regular people giving these ratings.
I'd say 85.
86%. Good job. Really close. So what else there is to know about this movie is it came out in 1992 and the cast, it is an all-star cast.
Of one.
We've got Michael Caine, And Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog here. Muppet Christmas Carol. Thank you very much. Miss Piggy.
The whole reason you wanted to do this movie, just so you could bust out your Kermit voice.
I have been doing the Kermit voice for, I don't know, decades now, and finally I can do it in a more public setting. It's great. No, Miss Piggy, we've got all the cast of characters of all the Muppets, and we'll get into those. But really, this is two things. This is Dickens' A Christmas Carol, and it is a Muppet production. This is a Jim Henson Muppet production, and it feels like both.
Take one grumpy Scrooge. Humbug. 3 magical spirits. Woo-hoo. Then drop in the Muppets. And you've got the hottest.
Hey, light the lamp, not the rat.
The hippest.
You dancing fool.
The happiest.
Be serious.
Family movie event of the year.
You are such an idiot.
The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Whatever.
Rated G. Starts Friday, December 11th at a theater near you.
I mean, I haven't watched this movie in probably 25 years.
All right, let me start by asking you, after rewatching this, where's this movie fit in your mind in the pantheon of Christmas movies?
So there are Christmas movies that I like to revisit every year. Polar Express, you know, I've kind of gotten a little tired of Elf at this point. Home Alone, sometimes I really like it some years versus other years. Christmas Vacation, all those fun ones. This really hasn't been on my radar, but after watching it, why haven't I been watching it is my thought. This is a great movie. There's music, there's all the feels, there's the legitimately 100% genuine Christmasness of everything in this movie. This really should be in my rotation.
All right, I'm going to level with you, Jim. This is my number one. This is my favorite Christmas movie. I watch almost all of them every year. I watch Elf, I watch Home Alone, It's a Wonderful Life, all those. We watch those together. This is the movie we put on when we're putting up our Christmas tree.
Oh, nice.
Yes, this is, which is a little annoying because sometimes I don't get to sit down and watch it because, you know, putting up the Christmas tree always seems like it's going to be like this lovely, beautiful time. And it's usually somebody's, you know, dropping ornaments or yelling at each other. That's my ornament!
Yep.
I get to put that one up! But this, I love this movie. I've always loved A Christmas Carol. I've always loved the Muppets. I think this movie is a perfect marriage of two things that I absolutely love. And you know that doesn't always work. We were talking about this the other day. Sometimes they take two ideas and cram them together and they don't work. This one, man, this movie works so well.
I have to agree. And I come at it from a different reason. I come at it from the reasoning of I don't like the Muppets. And that's probably why it hasn't been in my rotation, because I really, despite having the ability to do a mediocre Kermit impression, I don't like the Muppets. They annoy the heck out of me. I never liked Sesame Street, which is probably why I'm bad at math. I don't like the Muppets. They've always just been creepy things to me. And overall, I actually forget that I'm watching a Muppet movie when I watch this. I actually forget that these characters, that despite the fact that they're pigs and frogs and, you know, whatever else, I forget that I'm watching a Muppet movie. It does a fantastic job of being a Christmas Carol, including the Muppets.
I mean, and I've loved the Muppets for years, and I've loved Christmas Carol. The Christmas Carol itself, frankly, as a pastor, it's a story about a person getting saved.
100%.
And that comes out in the Muppet version of this. They don't gloss over that. And I know we do that often in our contemporary storytelling, but they lean into all those things and then provide all the zaniness that I actually really, really enjoy in my television watching experience. So,
right. This is more than redemption at the end of it. This is a conversion.
Yeah. And they don't run away from that, which a lot of the contemporary tellings of Christmas story do. But when you go to the original prose of this is the story of Scrooge was lost and going to go to hell. Like, that's literally what Marley is telling him. And at the end, he's saved. I was like, wow, that's really cool. And really makes, I love the closing scene of this. But when you give the stakes of that, why is he so happy on Christmas morning? It isn't just like, oh, I know Christmas is great now. He's like, no, my whole eternity, you know, has been changed. And that's really pretty amazing and explains everything that he does, all the not worrying about money anymore, becoming generous. Why does a person change that much? Well, his whole outlook on eternity has changed. So it's a great story. And man, the Muppets amazingly don't take away from it at all.
No, they don't.
They embrace the prose and they embrace the story. And it just, man, it is so good.
It is. It really is. And it's introduced to us by Charles Dickens, who is Gonzo. And right away, we realize that Gonzo is going to break this fourth wall. And he's talking to us directly, quoting whole paragraphs straight from the book to us, which is really so good. It's just, it really keeps things authentic. And of course, we have Rizzo the Rat, which is an incredible comedic relief in between everything.
I always watch this on DVD. I know it's on Disney Plus and stuff like that, but I have the DVD, so I always watch it. And then most years I actually watch the special features for this movie. And it's interesting because the writers even say, they're like, every time we get stuck, we just open up the book. We didn't open up the script. We'd open up the book and let Charles Dickens tell us how to get our characters to the next place. And it really does come out in the movie. They really do a great job of honoring the book.
Probably the closest to the book any film adaptation gets. Now, touching real quick on the fact that you watched the DVD. I didn't watch it on a streaming service either. I actually got it from the library. I got the Blu-ray, and I don't know if the Blu-ray is similar to the DVD or they added some extras for the Blu-ray, but when I press pause, it's not just like it freezes the screen. There's an intermission that happens.
Ooh.
Like a full-blown intermission with a dozen different ones. Anytime you press pause, you might get a different one. There was one with the Swedish chef that came on. He's singing "Oh Christmas Tree" with like penguins dancing around him. Press it again, the penguins come back and they're singing "Deck the Halls." It's just like, there's a lot of different things on this Blu-ray. When you press pause, you get an actual intermission, which is great.
But that's really a Muppetism too. Like, and I know Muppets aren't your favorite, but like whenever you watch anything with Muppets, there isn't just the humor that's happening right in front of you. Jim Henson was always huge on like every corner of the screen. There is something happening. And usually it's something ridiculous. And you could watch this movie a couple different times and stop watching Michael Caine or stop watching Kermit and just watch what's happening around them.
Yes. You know, you've got Rolf showing up. You've got Animals showing up. You've got Fozzie showing up. You've got Miss Piggy. You've got Gonzo. They have their own personalities outside of A Christmas Carol, outside of this movie. And despite the fact that they're playing these characters, they are still themselves. Yeah. Like they all have running jokes. They all have themes that they have in any production they've ever been in. Gonzo still is looking at the chickens. Animal still somehow plays the drums. Rolf is still somehow on a piano. Like there's still these running jokes from all the other things that you're like, you can appreciate it as a Muppet fan. And it's doing such a good job as the Christmas Carol that you're satisfied all around.
I actually think this is one of the reasons that I think this isn't just a great telling of the Christmas Carol, but it's such a great Muppet movie is the casting. Not Michael Caine. I'm sure we'll talk plenty about him, but the Christmas Carol and how they use the Muppets and how they cast the Muppets in this is as close to as perfect as any Muppet movie you see. And they've done other like classic works of art, Muppet Treasure Island and things like that. But again, like Kermit as Cratchit, Miss Piggy as his wife. I mean, they just made some incredible decisions that just play so well in this movie.
Absolutely. And then we're introduced once again to Gonzo and Rizzo, and he brings us in and we have an opening song. And this song, the Scrooge song, where we get, Michael Caine, we've been introduced to Michael Caine. He's done for the day at work. We got that whole scene. And as he's going through, we're seeing all the Muppets, but we've got all of them singing about him in this Scrooge song. And it's an earworm. You hear that song, you're humming that for weeks.
I get stuck on the music on this song. I love so many of the songs here. It's a really good musical.
It really is, on top of everything. And you got Michael Caine, who's also brilliant from the start because he plays it completely straight. He is surrounded by chaos at times. And his sincerity and grandness of who Scrooge was, it just grounds everything. It grounds the whole production. Even though it's all Muppets, he brings it into a space where it's believable.
The way he plays this is so incredible throughout the entire movie. And I think about today's actors that do everything in front of green screens. And here you have Michael Caine that's just surrounded by these off-putting looking puppets. and their handlers. And just the performance he gives is so wonderful and so grounding and so believable from the first moment he steps on screen. There's no question of who he is, no question of what his motivations are. You're just with him from start to finish. And for a goofy Christmas comedy, it is some of the best acting I feel like I've ever seen in my life.
What also helps is the decisions that are being made visually. When we meet him as Scrooge, he is the boss man. He is sitting up there in a desk that's bigger, a desk that is taller. He is larger than all of his workers, and his workers are rats. Aside from Bob Cratchit, his workers are rats, and that's how he sees them. Even if they were not rats, that's how he looked at people. They were rats. Visually, this works.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes of this movie when we're in his counting house is just a tour de force. He's just manic. You're completely with him. I love that entire scene, how he deals with Cratchit, how he deals with the rats, how he deals with the rabbit, how he deals with Beaker and Bunsen. Oh my gosh.
How he deals with his nephew. He treats everyone like rats, like they work for him. That's the visual we get. And that is the movie telling us this is who we're dealing with. This is how he operates. We then go over to one of my absolute favorite scenes, and it happens so early in the movie, the Marleys. This is one of the places where the movie does stray a little bit from the book. There's only one Marley. In this movie, there's two, Jacob and Robert Marley. And when we get those Marleys, this is where I probably as a kid was like, okay, I'm okay with this movie because of all the Muppets, these two old, crotchety, surly guys who are usually up in a balcony at a theater going, oh, that was great. This was amazing. I love it. Well, it was okay. Yeah, it wasn't that great. It was pretty terrible. It was awful. Boo, get it away. I loved those guys and their snarkiness, and them as the Marleys it's chef kiss. It's perfection.
Yeah. Again, back to the casting. I feel like they just knock it out of the park in this production, and they're fantastic to the point where it reminds you it's a Muppets movie, but you don't care. You're like, no, that's so perfect. Just leave it. Yeah. I'm fine.
the Muppetness of everything all of a sudden becomes secondary because there's a spooky buildup to this scene that is amazing. It just gets you right where you're like, oh man. I
mean, they even mentioned it in the movie. Gonzo's like, wait, or I think it's Rizzo that's like, should we be worried about the younger audience? They even know, they're like, well, this is pretty intense.
Which was also a warning to those parents and the young, maybe it's going to get a little scary, but man, it really, the payoff is so good.
Let me ask you some questions because we probably don't need to go scene by scene with this one. Most people know this story. What's your favorite scene from this movie? Is that it?
I think nostalgically, it's my favorite scene, nostalgically. But when I watched the movie again, this is not my favorite scene. Watching it with fresh eyes. I was 11 when this movie came out, but as a 44-year-old watching this, my favorite scene has now become the scene where, and we'll get to it, but it's where Michael Caine is outside, or Scrooge is outside the Cratchit house and watching the Cratchits and watching Bob Cratchit ask God to bless him. Yeah. That's my favorite scene because it is very moving. It is very, you're starting to see that Scrooge is getting it. He's starting to process what's going on and how he has affected people.
Yeah, seeing people for, you mentioned how in the early scenes, he sees people as almost inhuman. And then he's standing outside their window and seeing his employees that they're people with families and feelings and dealing with genuine loss. And yeah, it's man, this movie has a lot of the feels in it. So, and makes it great. For me, I was like, I mentioned the counting house scene. I really love how that just sets the tone for how hard and cold Scrooge is, which makes the ending. And I kind of also mentioned this, the ending of this movie, you just feel so good for Scrooge because Michael Caine does such a good job of being Scrooge that you just feel so good for him at the end. Yeah. You're just like, man, the intensity that he has for being Scrooge, you believe that he's genuinely that good at the end of the movie.
It's wonderful. I love that.
What's your favorite song? There's really good songs in this. What's your favorite song from this movie?
At the end of the day, it's definitely Marley and Marley. That's not even a question. I think this song has been stuck in my head for many years, but I didn't really care for One More Sleep Till Christmas and this sounds almost blasphemous for this movie. That's probably one that I didn't care for as a kid. And it still didn't grab me nowadays. It's definitely Marley and Marley. The Scrooge song is incredible.
Yes.
There's a couple other songs that are just really awesome as well. But Marley and Marley, just for some reason, the flow of that Marley and it really amuses me for some reason.
I really like Feels Like Christmas.
Yeah.
When they're walking through the town and then they come back to it at the end.
As far as Christmas songs go, you could probably just lump that into an old standard at this point.
Yes, well, it's funny. I sent you that remake by Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy. I had no idea that Fall Out Boy redid that.
All right. So, what's your favorite non-Michael Caine character? So, who's your favorite Muppet in this movie?
I mean,
it could be just your favorite Muppet or the way this Muppet is used in this movie.
Okay, so that's a double. Okay, so I have two answers then, because I have my favorite Muppet, and then I have the one that I feel like the way he was used visually was fantastic. My favorite Muppet would be probably Gonzo. I really like Gonzo as Dickens. I really think he is perfect for it. I love that he's still Gonzo. And I think the one that I liked the most, the way they were used, would be the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Okay.
Because visually, he's huge at first. And then kind of gets reduced to maybe Hagrid size, which is still massive.
Right.
But over the course of the time that we are with the Ghost of Christmas Present, he is graying.
Yes.
His hair is going from ginger, like fire, engine red almost. Every scene, there's a little bit more gray in his beard. There's a little bit more gray in his hair until the part where it's time to say goodbye to him and he's completely white haired. And we find out that makes perfect sense because the present is so fleeting.
Right.
Before you know it, the present is the past. We don't have the present for that long. I mean, these things that are in the book are visually stunning in this movie.
And you would think in a Muppet movie, those are details that they would just miss.
Yeah.
They're going for laughs. They're not going for, that's thought-provoking. And yet somehow in this movie, they kind of hit it all. They make you laugh. Like, I have cried watching this movie. I don't really know why this is so good. I mean, I have some ideas, but man, this movie really just kind of gets you in the feels sometimes.
It really does. Some of those Cratchit scenes, where Michael Caine is asking what's going to happen to Tiny Tim. Like, man, I'm sold. I'm there. I believe it. That's Scrooge, and he is going through some real torture right there.
Right. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
No, I was going to say, my character, it's one and the same. This is my favorite Muppet, and I love how he's used in this movie. It's Beaker. Beaker is awesome.
Beaker is great.
He just makes me laugh every time he's on the screen. The fact that he can communicate so much stuff without ever saying a word. And you know exactly what he's thinking, exactly what's going on. And even a scene with Michael Caine, like, I literally get teared up when Michael Caine gives him the scarf. I'm like, oh, Beaker got a scarf.
Yes.
I don't know why. I'm like, what's my problem? I'm a grown-up. This shouldn't bother. This shouldn't make me all teary-eyed. It's like, oh, he was nice to Beaker.
He's nice to Beaker. Oh, all right. So here we go. Let's dig into some ghosts. First of all, I recently read the book a couple years ago, and it's creepy, it's ghostly, it's haunting, but I didn't remember how well despite the light tone, I didn't remember how well that actually came across in some scenes in this movie. And that first ghost is way creepier than I remember. I don't like children ghosts. They give me the collywobbles. I don't like it. And that ghost is just really, I don't want to look at it ever again. That is the one thing about this movie that I do not like is that first ghost. It's awful. I don't like looking at it. I don't like its voice. It's gross.
You know how they did that? Because that's actually on the special features on the
It's
DVD.
animation, it looks like.
No, it's not. It's a live puppet that they filmed in a vat of oil. And that's how it gets that kind of flowing, moving.
Oh.
So Gonzo and Rizzo are narrating the extra features. So Gonzo asks Rizzo, he's like, whatever happened to that vat of oil? And Rizzo says, it's back in my apartment.
So what are they're frying a puppet so that it gets that kind of wavy motion?
They just kind of dipped the puppet in the oil, and then it kind of floated in the oil water would have made it too heavy and it would have sagged down the cloth part. If they put it in oil, it'll look like it's floating in the air. So it was a pretty good effect.
I really was, because I was fooled. I thought it was animated, which is wild, because that thing is creepy. I don't like it. The voice is not right. It's all bad. But we get some really fun scenes there with that first ghost. I mean, you get Rizzo, and you realize Rizzo is just a laugh a minute. Light the lamp, not the rat. Stuff like that. That's a great quote. We get Fozzie party. Fozzie wig. I mean, that's low-hanging fruit, but it's great.
I mean, maybe the best thing about the whole movie is when Michael Caine, straight as an arrow, says, "Oh, it's Fozzie Wig's rubber chicken factory."
Yes. He does. Straight as it can be.
He couldn't have said it any more serious. I was like, yeah, sure, Michael Caine, go ahead.
And that's what I mean. When he's in there, he is acting so believable. Like everything is just normal, despite that he's got Animal and the Swedish chef around him in this scene. Come on now. But then we go into the second ghost, and that's the ghost of Christmas Present, which we did talk about. He's way less creepy. He's really fun.
He really does look like Hagrid.
He does. And that's where we get It Feels Like Christmas. And that song probably has grown on me a lot, where I can consider that like, oh, this is a Christmas song.
Yeah, it's just a Christmas song.
I mean, this is just as Christmas songy, if not better than, Jingle Bells and, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. This is, It Feels Like Christmas. Yeah. And that's where we go to the Cratchit's house and Rizzo on the goose. Rizzo falls down the chimney and he's on this goose, and he's, he has to run to keep up with the goose because it's on the spit and it's rolling around, For
whatever reason, that's kind of a line in our house, the part where they bring out the goose and Tiny Tim's like, the goose, and he starts coughing. So like whenever like the turkey comes out of Christmas, we're like, the goose, the Christmas goose.
Yes, this scene does an incredible job of stirring up all the feels for Tiny Tim, for Bob Cratchit, for Scrooge, who is clearly processing how awful he has treated so many good people despite their poverty. He's seeing that they are more rich than he ever has been. And I love that the ghost of Christmas Present's hair, once again, just turns white in the short time that we have him. This is probably, next to the Marleys, one of my favorite scenes.
Yes, the realization that they are happier with so much less than he has, and he's having a hard time being happy with an abundance.
Correct. Third ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. How do you feel about him?
I like him. Interestingly enough, going back to the special features, in the original casting of the show, this was actually Gonzo. Before they decided to make Gonzo Charles Dickens, he was going to be the ghost of Christmas Past, and it was going to be the same outfit, but just with
the nose hanging out of it. I can see that. I can totally see that. That would have been hilarious too.
That does feel like a way, like you're going to have like the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come doesn't speak, and that feels like a real waste of Gonzo.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. You got to have him speak. I like it. It's been 25 years or so since I've seen the movie, but I was comparing this in my head when I watched this scene. I was comparing it to the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol, the Disney one.
With Pete?
Yes, with Pete. But as I was comparing it in my head to the Mickey one, I really like the Muppets one so much better than the Mickey one, because Pete, he's just straight Satan.
Yeah, pretty much. And Scrooge like is he falling into hell there?
He's throwing Scrooge into an open grave and literally throwing dirt on him. This is a disturbing scene that actually ruins the whole Mickey's Christmas Carol for me. And this movie, The Muppet Christmas Carol, does it so much better and closer to the book, less disturbing, but equally as powerful. And Michael Caine is just, once again, incredible as a repentant Scrooge.
Yeah, he is so good. And the ending of this movie, unlike so many movies we watch, you get to the third act and, you got sky beams and just zaniness. Like the ending of this movie feels so earned.
Yeah.
I am with him. Like, I am completely invested in Scrooge. I am joyful that he has found joy in life and in what he does. And I'm just like, gosh, I've seen this movie 30 times. I'm always with Scrooge at the end of this movie. I'm there. I'd walk the streets with him on Christmas morning.
You literally went on that journey with him, and you always find the faults in yourself and like, I can be better. This made me want to be better. I can be better too.
Yeah. All right. I got two things. I got one serious thing and then one ridiculous thing. What do you want first?
Oh, get me the serious thing first. Yeah.
All right. So I was watching this movie. I think the thing that I love most about this movie, I told you this is my favorite Christmas movie, is I just love the tone of this movie. And I never really understood why. But over the last like month or two, I have been rewatching it. And Jim, I've been cheating on you. I've been listening to another podcast. There's a Boy Meets World rewatch.
I listened to that too.
I've been watching Boy Meets World. I've been listening to this podcast. And then I watched this movie and I realized, oh, this is what I love. I love a zany ensemble, and then they're just this wise, powerful, strong person in the middle. Because in Boy Meets World, I'm sure some of your people that are listening love Boy Meets World like I do.
I'm sure they do.
You got all these ridiculous kids, and then you got Mr. Feeney right in the middle. And he's just this wise sage who plays it straight as an arrow. And you have all this craziness going on all around him. But there's this kind of, I don't know, this rock in the middle that they keep coming back to. And I feel like this movie is the same thing. You've got the Muppets just doing all this kind of ridiculous stuff. And yet you got Michael Caine there in the middle, just there that they're bouncing off of. And it kind of just drives the whole story. And I feel like, I was like, oh, this is what I like. This is what I like in my TV shows. This is what I like in the movies. It was really like I was like, oh, I know what I like now.
It's a recipe that works going back many, many years. Abbott and Costello, you've always got to have the straight guy. For the ridiculousness to seem so funny and ridiculous, you have to have a straight guy. And Michael Caine is an incredible straight guy. I mean, I'm sure that they were busting up, laughing between scenes, but man, when he's on it, he is on it.
Yes. Oh man, he's so good in this movie. All right, so one ridiculous thing. And again, they stay so close to the story that there really isn't a lot about the Christmas Carol, the story itself that I had questions with. But I got to bring this up. And this isn't completely my thought, but it is a thought that I've had. So we have Kermit and Piggy, who are not just flirting with each other like they do in most Muppets. They're married here, and they're married with children.
Yes, they are.
So what are your feelings? Obviously, they seem like they dodged the big questions here by making all the male children frogs and all the female children pigs. How do you feel about that? Should they have been a little bit more of a blended family than they were?
I don't know. It might be a little weird to have it. I don't know. I guess that is an interesting question. That is ridiculous. And the fact that I'm pondering it so hard, what am I doing right now? What have you done? This is no.
Well, these are the questions that we like. So if they were blended, wouldn't they be just like kangaroos, right? Like jumping pigs?
Yeah, I guess. Or frogs with snouts. Yeah, no, that's not okay. That's some weird.
Anyway, these are the things that I think about. So.
Wow.
All right, time to wrap it
up. On. So we've got Scrooge, who is now on his way to Bob Cratchit's house, and Scrooge doesn't use a cane, I've noticed. All movie, when he was out in the streets in the beginning of that movie, and he's just, Scrooge, he's using a cane.
He's been healed.
He's been healed. I mean, I'm not sure if he really needed the cane to begin with, but it's a great visual of a spiritual and physical healing that has gone on here. And the sight gag that he gives his employees coal is fantastic on so many levels.
Yeah.
When he goes to the Cratchit's door and Miss Piggy is threatening to pretty much, put him out on his rear, in the middle of the street, she's going to deck him. I was laughing out loud at this point. It was true to Miss Piggy. And it was a fantastic scene. I just loved it. It was great. The end. What else is there more to say, right?
Well, and the mices get the cheeses for the Mises.
Yes. There was not one empty space in this movie. Everything on screen had a purpose and a gag. Everything, as far as audibly goes, there was no line that didn't have some kind of punch to it. It was great.
It is a surprisingly wonderful film. Not just, I like this because I like Christmas Carol, or I like this because I like the Muppets. I mean, it is a really enjoyable way to spend 2 hours.
Absolutely. George, thank you for taking the time this busy holiday season to talk Muppets. Merry Christmas. There it is. The Muppet Christmas Carol, a movie that somehow made Dickens' ghosts feel at home among Muppets, music, and Michael Caine. We laughed, we remembered, we even got a little misty-eyed because, like every good Christmas story, this isn't one that's really about ghosts or greed. It's about finding our way back to the best parts of ourselves, which usually involve kindness and compassion. So whether your holidays smell like pine needles or VHS taped plastic, take a cue from the Muppets, keep kindness in your heart, and maybe rewatch this classic while you're at it. George, thanks again, buddy.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas. You have a good one. To yours and your family. Thanks again. We will probably be seeing you again early next year, right?
I would like that.
I would too. Thanks again, George. See you later, bud.
See you, buddy.
You can find more retrostalgic fun with the Busy Signal on Instagram at BusySignalCast. Unwrap that follow button for a daily gift of nostalgia. If you liked this episode, you can subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods. Leave a 5-star rating and a positive review. Santa will probably give you more presents if you do. Well, thanks for spending a little time in the past with me here on the Busy Signal. Special thanks to my guest, George, again. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's been 33 years since this movie came out, and I have had Marley and Marley stuck in my head ever since. Not a bad thing. Merry Christmas. As Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. Once again, I'd like to say thanks for listening. And as always, you can listen to The Busy Signal everywhere quality podcasts are streamed. Hit the subscribe button to have a new episode delivered directly to your favorite device every other Friday. If you really like the show, leave a 5-star rating or a positive review on Apple and Spotify. That lets everybody else know to come check out what you already think is awesome. You can also head over to Instagram and follow the show at BusySignalCast for even more retrostalgic content. I share a good amount of fun stuff that isn't mentioned on the episodes. While you're there, say hi in the comments. Don't be shy. And until next time, remember, reach out and touch the past.
Hey, light the lamp, not the rat!